This is the Mets Postcast, your instant game reaction for the New York Mets. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
For the second straight day, the New York Mets hit 3 home runs. They get some excellent starting pitching from Kodai Senga, and they defeat the Colorado Rockies by a final score of 8-2 to lock themselves up another series victory. Welcome into the Mets Postcast here on the Locked On Mets YouTube channel and in the Locked On Mets podcast feed. I'm your Postcast host, Chris Schubert, here with you after each Mets game throughout the course of the season. And a game that definitely felt more like what we wanted from this series with Colorado, what we expected from this series against Colorado. The offense breaking out, solid starting pitching, and a nice, easy Saturday afternoon at the ballpark for the New York Mets, and hopefully a nice, easy Saturday afternoon for all of us watching the game. It certainly was on my end. These postcasts a lot easier when it goes wire to wire the way that it did, and everything goes according to plan. And that's where we'll start, because the plan offensively in this series was to get these bats going, and boy, did they get them going today.
This is what you'll be talking about.
All you need to do, and we try to not do this here on the postcast, we try to tell you what I think, what we watched, what you watched. We try not to box score scout too much, but we are going to do that here today because it's pretty easy. Just look at the box score and look at every single Mets starter contributing at least one hit. When the Mets do that, they're going to win a lot of baseball games. When everybody is contributing in some way, when everybody is getting on base in some way, it's going to be hard to keep the Mets off the board. And with the way the starting pitching has been going this season for the New York Mets, you give them a lead with this rotation, with this bullpen, it's all she wrote. Add on top of it, you're facing a team that after losing this series today has lost their last 22 consecutive series. It's a pretty easy script to write. The main story in this one, another day in which the Mets slugged a bunch of home runs, 3 of them in total. Brandon Nimmo got things started. Juan Soto said, hold on a second. You can't have the party all to yourself, Brandon. I want to be involved. Back-to-back shots, the first time this season that the Mets went back-to-back this season. And, man, we pointed it out yesterday. Perhaps was Soto getting close? A multi-hit game yesterday. This series feels like a really nice opportunity against a really bad team, really bad pitching staff. This is where you put up some crooked numbers. This is where you have a series where you hit 600 and you do wonders for your batting average. And for Juan Soto to hit the ball that he did, to go to left center field, he knew it right away. You can tell with him when he knows he got one, you see the way he reacts with that bat. And so awesome to see that. Great to see the crowd react the way that they did. And again, it feels like we're starting to get him going. And if this is the version that we're going to get from Juan Soto moving forward, Mets are going to start to continue to win a lot of baseball games. Just this team, the question going into the year was, could they get the pitching? Everybody thought the offense was going to be there. The story for us so far, 50-plus games into the season, is the pitching has been great. The offense has been so-so. If the offense starts to turn the corner a little bit, and you felt it today with an 8-run performance. You felt it today with 3 home runs. You felt it today with Brett Baty, a bases-clearing triple in the first inning. You felt it in this game. If that becomes commonplace, look out. Mets are on pace after today's win to win 101 games. So for all the doom and gloom that I think we go through because we deal with this team on an everyday basis, things are going pretty well right now. Jeff McNeil got involved with the party as well. He was the third Met to hit a home run. So 5 Mets have hit home runs over the last 2 days. It was Lindor and Marte last night. And this afternoon, it was Nimmo, Soto, and McNeil. So not only is the power surge here for the Mets, but you also kind of like that it's 5 different people. It's not one guy going off for a weekend. You got a bunch of guys contributing, and that's exactly what it was here today. The only Met to come into the game and not get a hit was Luis Angel Acuna, who was a pinch hitter and got 1 at bat. I mean, you look up and down. Multi-hit games today from Lindor and Nimmo in the top part of the lineup. Soto got on base twice, the home run and a walk. Lindor also drew 2 walks in this game. Tyrone Taylor on base twice. Just look up and down. And I know Francisco Alvarez, the 1 hit that he did have, he almost got himself into a lot of trouble. Boy, could you imagine the conversation we would be having here today if he got thrown out from right field. Because last night we mentioned it, This is kind of teetering on almost a 50-50 split between Torrens and Alvarez, with potentially Torrens, I should say, needing to get the bulk of the playing time. I think if Alvarez hit a ball to right field and got thrown out at first base on a single, yeah, that would have been probably would have been our main talking point, even in an 8-2 win here. Luckily, that didn't happen, and so luckily we don't have to talk about that. But not a better day for Alvarez, even though he did get a hit. Still struggling and still having some tough at bats. And Brett Baty continues to be awesome. That 3 RBI triple there in the first inning, 4 spot that the Mets put up in the first, and they never looked back after taking the lead right back. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll get your thoughts. We'll talk about Kodai Senga, who was great once again, and third base settled. I am ready to make a declaration of what needs to happen with third base moving forward. So we will get to all of that here on the other side. NBA playoffs in full swing. Game 6 today, Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks trying to keep that season alive. Every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. And perhaps, hopefully not, but could be the last game of the Knicks season. Perhaps you want to get involved. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live. With player props, performance trends, same-game parlays, you have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. And so if you want to get in on the action tonight when the Knicks take on the Pacers, you can do so over at FanDuel. You're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Back here, the Locked On Mets YouTube channel, the Locked On Mets podcast feed, the Mets postcast. Chris Schubert with you. Comments in the chat, a little early to talk about, but who do you think are the all-stars for the break? Now, this may be something we can do a little bit closer to it being all-star season. Probably want to get through the month of July before we have this conversation. But if you're asking me who have been the best performers for this team this season, because all-star, it does come down to the voting, but in terms of talent and production, I mean, I look at the Francisco Lindor is almost certainly an all-star, having one of the best starts to a Mets season since he has gotten here. So you certainly would put him on the list. Pitching-wise, I throw a dart at a dartboard and pick a pitcher. I mean, Kodai Senga, who we're going to talk about here in a second, 6 1/3 of 2 runs today. That ERA is sitting below 2. It's at 1.6. And again, he was cruising today, retired 17 in a row at one point, then hit a little bit of a blip there in that 7th inning. Unfortunate because he was cruising. He was dominating a lineup that you should dominate. When a team is this bad, it's because they can't hit. And that's exactly what the Mets have been, the pitching staff's been doing. And Kodai Senga was cruising today until hit that little blip there in the 7th inning. So pick your poison with the rotation. Kodai Senga's got a sub-2 ERA. We yesterday proclaimed that David Peterson was an ace. You could pick him. I would nominate Huascar Brazaban out of the bullpen. Edwin Diaz has been great as of late. So, yeah, I mean, no surprise that when we're talking about a Mets team that has won, as many games as they have, up to 35-22 this season, that there are a bunch of candidates, but the Mets have a ton of candidates. Max asks, does Alvy have any options left? I hate stalling his development, but he has been worse in every way compared to Torrens. Obviously, Alvy has the higher ceiling, but he is just looking horrific. Max, it's not a fair point. It's not a unfair point. We can do some quick math here and see if he's got any options left. We can do some quick research, but I don't know even if he has an option, if that's the right thing for him, right? Because what's he going to do? Go down there, and he does have some options left, so they could send him down. But is he going to go down there and what? Crush AAA pitching, and then all of a sudden we're going to be like, oh, he's fine, he's fixed it. I expect him to go down there and crush AAA pitching. So is that really going to be the thing that gets him right? Or is it going to be working at the big league level, working every day, and just trying to fight through it? He is still a young kid. He is still a young prospect. He is still developing. And the thing that makes me comfortable with him staying up here and trying to work this out at the big league level is the bat was supposed to be the thing that was major league ready, and the defense was lagging behind. The defense has been everything as advertised, even more so from the moment he's been called up, but he's gotten better year over year. So he's able to work on things at the big league level and get better. He certainly did that with his defense. Now you just need it with the offense. So I get it. I think it's a fair question to wonder what to do with Francisco Alvarez because he is struggling. But I just don't know if moving him down to AAA, if that was even a topic of conversation in that building, would actually help matters. I could be wrong. He could go down there and actually be able to work on some things. But my fear is you send him down, and for 2 weeks he tears the cover off the ball, and then we're already talking about moving him back up. We're all ready to be like, yeah, bring him back. I just don't know if he's going to gain the benefit from going down there and being able to mentally reset. I think they can do that at the big league level. Let's talk about Kodai Senga, who's great once again. We mentioned that ERA. It's down to 1.60. Although it's hard to remember with some of the starters in this rotation. Their ERAs were so low that could a performance like this have increased his ERA? I don't actually remember what it was coming in to the game today. But his ERA sits at 1.6, and we know that is good, regardless if it went up or went down. He finishes the month of May with a sub-2 ERA. He had a 1.89 ERA, and you may think that's good. He had a 1.26 ERA in April. So actually a little bit worse so far in May compared to April as he finished up the second month of the season, but we'll take a 1.89 ERA. And he was great once again, dominating, allowed that first inning home run, but then settled down after that, retired the next 17 batters in a row. And shout out to Everyday Mets in the chat telling me that Kodai's ERA before the game was 1.45. So what a terrible performance from Kodai Senga, increasing his ERA to 1.60. 17 in a row, he sat down at one point. And I don't know if you felt it watching the game, but he was kind of working some things out. And you can kind of get away with this against a team like Colorado. But in the dugout, in between innings, just doing the Kodai Senga thing, working on his mechanics, and constantly felt like he was maybe trying to work some things out there on the mound, but had to go his fork working for some strikeouts, 7 of them in total in this game, the 2 runs and 6+ innings. And then the Mets handed it over to a bullpen with a big lead, and they shut it down with some scoreless innings. So Kodai Senga continues to be awesome and exactly the type of guy you want on the mound in this game with a chance to win a series. Michael providing some additional context for us here. 28 starts in a row without giving up more than 3 runs. Pitching. It has been the name of the game for the New York Mets because their offense stop and start. Their offense inconsistent. But the pitching has been anything but inconsistent. They've been incredibly consistent. Max says Senga is such an interesting pitcher to watch. He gets so much better as the game goes on each game. What I find so interesting about Kodai Senga, and I think all pitchers do this, all pitchers battle, they grind it out. Even if things are going well, they're always trying to tweak. They're always trying to make those finer adjustments. With Kodai Senga, you can see him doing it. Like you can watch him mentally. You can see in his facial expression. You can see the gears turning. And you can see him constantly trying to work things out there on the mound. And it is a lot of fun to watch. It is different than watching most pitchers pitch because you can tell that he is tinkering. You can tell that he's working on things. And even though he's throwing up zeros, he's still trying to get better. He's still trying to get a different feel for things. And it's really fun to watch. Now, Michael, you said 28 starts in a row without giving up more than three runs. There's a Griffin Canning start in there that wasn't very good. I don't know if that. I have to go back and look. He had that bad start against the White Sox where he gave up a bunch of runs. So I think that may have snapped that start. He did only allow 3 earned runs, but it was only 3 innings. So not necessarily, yes, 28 starts in a row, but you'd like to see a little bit more length there from the rotation. But yeah, Senga just really great. 28 starts for Senga. Got it. You weren't talking about the pitching staff in general. You're talking about Kodai Senga. Yeah, he's been great. He's been absolutely excellent since coming back from the injury, especially this year. Because that postseason, that little bit of a blip, and we know that he is meticulous about his mechanics and meticulous about his craft, and you can see it, and it was on full display here once again today. Yeah, so really great performance from Kodai Senga, 6+ innings. Let's finish with this. Third base, this is settled, and this is not a shot at Mark Vientos. This is a credit to Brett Baty. Brett Baty needs to be the everyday third baseman of the New York Mets, and this shouldn't even be a discussion. It shouldn't be a controversy. It shouldn't be a question mark. Brett Baty gives the Mets right now the best chance to win out there at third base. He gives them the best chance to win defensively. He gives them the best chance to win offensively. Right now, he is the better third baseman. That is not to say that I don't want Mark Vientos in the lineup. Mark Vientos should be the DH. But when we're talking about the position of third base, that position now belongs to Brett Baty. He has played well enough to deserve an extended run of being there. Mark Vientos' defense, while it was better than we thought it was going to be last season, we always knew that it was a question mark. Baty, no questions about his defense, questions about the bat. The bat is there. The bat has showed up in the month of May. The bat showed up once again today. The bat drove in 3 runs with a bases clearing triple into one of the deepest parts of the ballpark. The bat is playing to go along with great defense. He made a couple of great plays today out there at third base, just fielding the hot corner with relative ease. So this is settled, at least for me. And again, Vientos is still a part of this core. He's still a part of this team. He should be the DH, especially with Winker out and they have that position open. But I don't care if there's a lefty on the mound. I don't care how tough the pitching matchup is. I think we've gotten to a place, and I remember a couple of weeks ago when Acuna was playing really well, we said, hey, Acuna needs to be a part of the group of names you always write down every day. That spot now belongs to Brett Baty. Baty has earned this opportunity. He's earned an extended run. And so it is now on Carlos Mendoza. It is now on David Stearns. It is now on the Mets to figure out how do we make sure we get Mark Vientos enough at bats. And that may mean he is the permanent DH. And you get Marte 1 day a week, maybe 2 games a week. But Vientos needs to be playing as well because you want to try to get him out of this with some at-bats. Going to do no good sitting down. But this is Brett Baty's third base spot for right now. No questions asked for me. Not even a hesitation. And I'm you asked me 3 months ago, I'd be shocked that I'm even saying this. I'm not shocked today saying that Brett Baty should be the third baseman. I don't even think it's particularly close. Another win for the New York Mets. They have won 6 of their last 8 series. They will go for a series sweep tomorrow. They will hand things off to Clay Holmes. And this is the fun part, I think, for all of us, is when you get a great start like this on the mound and you have a great victory and you have a game like this where the Mets are, despite giving up that run in the first inning, in full control basically from the word go, and they feel really good about things. And you just now can pass the baton and it's to another good starter and you can just keep the momentum rolling. And that's what this is about. Ray says, Chris, this is the game we've been waiting for. Absolutely. This is, yesterday we said we would love for you to put up a bunch of runs, the offense to break out and be relatively easy. Well, less than 24 hours later, we got that game. And you know that this team is going to relish the opportunity to go for the sweep tomorrow. They're going to relish the opportunity to make up for what they didn't do at the end of the White Sox series and start stacking some victories because they're going to need them. They're in a battle for the NL East that we knew was not going to be a cakewalk. You knew it was going to be a battle. Philly's playing well. I think they're losing today, actually, as we do the postcast. So chance to gain some ground there in the NL East. But the Mets bats potentially starting to turn a corner and, would be way more concerned about them if they weren't hitting off of bad pitching like this. But they are. And so that makes me feel that a breakout across the board where we have a 6, 8, 10 game run where this offense is just clicking every single day could be right around the corner. Right around the corner, meaning tomorrow we'll be right back here breaking things down in the finale of this series. The Mets moved to 36-22. They have won. They won another series. They've won 6 of their last 8 series. It was their second straight day with 3 home runs. Juan Soto gets involved in the power surge. 5 different Mets have hit home runs over the last 2 days. Kodai Senga was brilliant once again. Just a great day at the ballpark to be a New York Mets fan. Just a great day in general for the Mets. And they will hope to continue that into tomorrow. We're right back here on the Locked On Mets YouTube channel, in the Locked On Mets podcast feed, to break it all down with you the moment that game is over. So if you are new, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so that you are notified when we go live. And listen, we've got the live YouTube chat here, but this is for my podcast listeners, okay? This is for those that listen to the postcast afterwards. But you join us live. We have a lot of fun. You see me. I read the comments. We get to hear your thoughts in real time here as the game concludes, and we get to have these conversations. So why don't you come and join us over on the Locked On Mets YouTube channel so you can watch and be a part of the show. But that is going to do it for us here on the Mets postcast as the Mets pick up another series victory, and they will go for a series sweep tomorrow. See you, everybody.